radiation fog in 3 states. This according to the Daily Mail. Just when you think that you have seen it all, they come out with something new. Radiation fog. Travel chaos warning as hazardous radiation fog alert is issued in 3 states. A dense blob of radiation fog has moved in over the southeast, causing dangerous conditions for up to 5 million people. The National Weather Service issued a dense fog advisory across 78 counties in Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida on Friday morning, warning of extremely low visibility on roads. While this kind of fog is unrelated to nuclear radiation and generally should not endanger human health, officials have previously warned that dense, low-level fog can impact air quality by trapping local pollutants close to the ground. The hazardous warnings specifically impact drivers throughout the region, as Americans won't be able to see beyond a quarter of a mile in front of them during the morning hours. Last year, the dangers of these conditions were tragically underscored on January 6, 2024, when a massive pileup on Interstate 5 in Kern County, California, involved nearly 40 vehicles, including 18 tractor-trailers, leaving 2 people dead and 9 others injured. Meteorologists noted that Central, Eastern, and Southeastern Georgia, Central and Southeastern South Carolina, and parts of northern Florida Panhandle are largely covered with fog. If driving, slow down, use your headlights, and leave plenty of distance between you, National Weather Service officials wrote in their warning. You can see here, the coverage on this. And I actually know a girl that lives in Florida, and she was talking about this about a year ago. These really thick fog. I've seen some of that here, but I live beside the river, so it's kind of difficult to know if it's this or natural from, the red river water and the changes in the temperature. But she was talking about in Florida that what she's seeing is not natural and that it is real heavy fog that's low on the ground. And every time that happens, she said that she gets really bad headaches, gets nauseous, and has to go to bed for, a couple of days to get recuperated until this fog goes away. And I personally think that this radiation fog has to do with all the stuff that we see being put into the atmosphere, trying to block out the sun, trying to cool the planet, as they tell us anyway. And you mention that to most people, they will think you're a conspiracy theorist. Why do you want to block out the sun for? Lots of different reasons that we may not understand. Maybe they're not human. Maybe they are interdimensional beings. Maybe they are reptilian. Who knows at this point? Maybe they're just crazy. Maybe they're just some suicidal cult. Maybe they don't like the sun. I mean, who knows? But they're saying it's for to combat global warming. And Bill Gates has come out and said this. Other people have talked about this. And I've seen reports of nations in the UK, I think that it was here a few days ago, that was doing this on a limited basis, they said. But you see all the spring, when I was a kid, you see the planes fly over, and they had a small exhaust trail behind them, and it disappeared very quickly. And you still see that sometimes. But a lot of times now, you'll see these big, long streaks go all the way across the sky for miles, and they're not really white. They're like a grayish looking, usually they turn grayish looking, and they linger. And then they will spread out sideways, and there'll be more crisscrossing planes come through. And they all do that. And then, in a few hours, your sky isn't blue anymore. Your sky is covered. And the sun is behind this, and the sun looks trying to shine through, but the color's different because it's being blocked. The sky is like a hazy, dirty-looking color, usually, when they do this. And this is factual. If you look it up, it's not a conspiracy theory like people try to say that it is. But they don't call it chemtrails. They call it geoengineering is what it's called. Weather modification. There's all kinds of patents. There's all kinds of history about this. They were doing weather modification back in the Vietnam War. Been doing this for a long, long time. And they're way more advanced at it now with weather modifications. And plus, like I said, they've stated they want to block out the sun to cool the planet, to fight climate change and global warming. So it's definitely, in my opinion, This is more than likely connected to that. Most likely. I don't know. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this. Do you think it's all connected? Were you seeing fog like this 10 years ago? Were you seeing these fog warnings and radiation fog then? When you looked up at the sky at night, could you see stars? Could you see the moon? Now, usually when you look up, you see maybe a few really dim stars because they're behind that film in the sky, that covering in the sky, where they spray all day. Usually by the morning time, it's cleared up a little bit, and you have these fogs like this. And then, a little bit later in the day, here the planes go again, flying across. And there's been several states actually came out and made laws against this, Tennessee being one of them, and Florida being one of them, but we're still seeing this every day. And usually when they make these laws, in Tennessee, when it first passed, I think Tennessee was one of the first, I think it might have been the first state to pass laws against this. It stopped, where I am anyway, for probably about a month, actually. And the sky was beautiful blue again. It turned beautiful blue again. It looked great. You could see stars at night. You could see the sun. Everything went back to the way that it was when I was growing up. Then, here they start back again. Apparently, the people behind this, I know Kennedy said it was DARPA behind this. He said it himself. It was DARPA behind this. So, who knows exactly at this point, but it's definitely being done. But the sky was cleared after about a month, and they started back doing it again here in Tennessee. And now they seem worse than what they were to begin with. They passed laws in Florida, and I've been told it's worse now than what it was before they passed the laws. I think they want to prove they can spray us more, they can cover the sky more over our states, and that the federal law, or what they want to do, these rich oligarchs, whoever's behind all this, they want to prove that the states don't matter, the state governors don't matter, the state legislature don't matter. Nothing matters. They have full, complete control and power. So when they pass these laws in these states, they come over and do it even more, it seems. Like I said, this is all my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I could be totally off. Maybe this radiation fog isn't connected at all. Maybe it has nothing to do with, what we're seeing in the sky. But like I said, they don't call it chemtrails. I even saw articles, like when Florida was trying to pass laws in the mainstream media, where they said that Florida is trying to pass laws against a conspiracy theory. No. See, they try to make it like you're a conspiracy theorist, lunatic nut, if you bring this up. But you look at, like I said, geoengineering, weather modification, you look at all the patents for different weather modification devices, and there's so much evidence. They come out and tell us out their own mouth what they want to do. And it's just obvious to anyone that has half of a brain at all, does 3 minutes of research. If you think that nothing's going on, look up weather modification. Look up geoengineering. You'll see everything about that come up. It's right there. So anyway, thoughts, comments below. Radiation fog. Watch out. I'll see you guys in the next video, maybe.